Can you hear it? Welcome to Relay.
Come here. This is Aubrey.
Oh, hello, Aubrey.
Hi.
Say hi.
That's a
Are
baby.
you being shy today?
Hello, Aubrey. Jake, you grew a
I
thing.
don't feel like talking to anybody. No, this is not my thing.
Oh, okay. So, I guess I'll get started with the intro.
Are we live?
Yeah, we are live.
Okay.
Welcome to the Relay Station, broadcast to multiple nations. No real news of consequence and no real guests of prominence. But wait, who's this mysterious figure, bold and serious? It's Paul, the publican, imperious, possibly drunk. We'll let you guess. And joining him, ridiculous, it's Shiver, Britain's very best. That's questionable, but I'm content in making the statement, so now I'll relent. He's back! He's bad! He's newly a Texican, though I know for a fact that he likes to eat Mexican. He's the best and loudest and worst of us here. It's Jake! So everyone, give him a cheer. Welcome to Relay. Oh, and I'm Erris.
Hi.
How's it going, everyone? I'm gonna open
Going
beer.
good.
So,
I'm still coughing.
yeah, you were dead last week.
Yep. I was literally dead. I was in the I was in bed. I finished off streaming Sea of Thieves on Thursday. And as I was finishing up, I was realizing I was coughing, and I was just like, I'm sick. So I managed to pull my last sick day to like at 2 a.m, you know, got a sub, did everything, all that kind of stuff. Then just crawled into bed and was like, nope. And I basically stayed in bed until Sunday night.
I think I gave Paul this illness somehow over about 200 miles.
Yes.
But yes, I had the exact same illness.
I think your illness has actually moved very far north because Mrs. Erris is upstairs dying, and I'm feeling it.
They
coming.
had like, you know, those charts that show like, oh, this is the area where this illness is affecting. It's literally all of North America.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Don't worry, sure, it's coming for you next.
It's okay.
We're just going to close all the airport
It's
gates.
okay. It's okay. 100 years ago, we had an influenza epidemic, so it makes sense that 100 years later, we have another fucking influenza epidemic across North America.
There was that one in Spain a few
died?
hundred years back.
This is the same one.
Did
And in
anybody
fact,
die?
people.
Oh
Did
yeah.
anyone die in 1918?
No, right today.
This is actually the most
actually-
deadly flu season to children in decades.
Wow.
Yeah, it's
There-
also it's killing children and adults.
When you say children, is that children of all ages or?
yes,
Shit.
Ringling Brothers and
Am I a
Barnes
child?
Welcome to the Relay Station. We're here to talk to you about the latest in influenza news.
Yes.
That's
We're
where I got here from.
a Plague Inc. podcast now.
Yes,
We're not.
PNN.
We're
Really
not
like that fucking game, actually.
I like
PNN,
that
Plague
game.
News Network.
And what is it? And as
Relay?
as a
Well, we have
rap
been
player.
Pele, and we do have Paul on the show again. So
I was gonna say, as a rapid planner, I would like to, as an avid fan of Plague Inc., I would like to say fuck you, Madagascar, because you always close your fucking ports
Yep.
at the second someone coughs.
They all live, man.
Yeah.
I always hate it when it's like, I think it was Greenland. Greenland's always last, and you're like, the fuck am I going to get there?
swim.
So
Jake,
yes,
it's been a while.
yes. My life has been filled with World of Warcraft and Doki Doki Literature Club. So
Yes,
that's,
you've been yelling at me for days to play
Yeah.
nothing but.
Yeah.
And fuck
Sure, have
you.
you guys played it? Have you played it, Shiver?
Doki Doki?
Have you played? Yeah, have you played it, Paul?
I haven't played it, but I've watched my wife play it, so I know what it is.
Toki Toki, the
Don't-
platformer with the monkey.
No. Doki Doki is the light novel romance game that's got a horror twist.
That's Doki. Oh, I forget the name of
Tori,
that.
was that one?
So yeah. I mean, there's also Doki Doki Panic, which is Super Mario Brothers 2.
Mm-hmm.
Doki Doki is how people in Japan they say heartbeat. That's what it sounds like.
No,
Today we learned.
That's what it is. I was curious as to what it is.
Have you ever listened to a heart?
Listen. They say cats say nyan, so there's
Well,
also that.
It's funny if you look into the detail of languages, which is what I'm interested to know what the Jian and the Banu and the Vandul have words for, like for cats, because if you listen to Japanese like interpretations of cats, it sounds like everyone else's interpretation of cats. Only instead of like in English we say meow because it sounds like cats are going meow. They say, oh, that's nyan, and the cats are just going nyan. It's the same thing. It's just sounds. To them, it's like, oh no, that sounds like this. It's like freaking looking at clouds and being like, that's a giant octopus. Oh no, that's a naked lady. Oh no, that's Jake underneath the bar because I have nightmares of Jake living under the bar.
Yep. That being said, if you're all interested in playing my personal game of the year 2017, don't read anything about it or learn anything about it. Go in blind. It's free.
Doki Doki?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Speaking of Game of the
100%.
Year 2017, Jake, we still have to do a end of a 2017 rundown Beefcast.
That's a Dolvac question.
Yeah. So
I don't know where he is. I'm just gonna message him right now.
do it.
Yo,
so welcome to the
when
Relay Station.
is end of year cast happening?
Welcome to the
We're
Relay
gonna get-
Station.
we're gonna get our
Occasionally, we discuss some Star Citizen things.
Never.
I will say this is the shortest beginning of the year drought that CIG has had thus far, at least, because usually January and February are just like fuck off months.
I mean, they've been doing really, really well so far this first month. I mean,
Dolvac says, "Id gaff. I just need to know ahead of time."
okay, well, we'll sort one out. Fuck. So what happened this week? There was a subscribers town hall, an ATV, and the RTV. I want to talk about, in my opinion, the most important thing that they talked about this week, which I actually don't have in my notes. But I know they talked about it because it was stealing vehicles.
Yeah.
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 You mean what they talked about that they didn't talk about because they didn't actually talk about it?
That everybody overreacted a little bit, and I totally kind of assumed that he was talking about 3.x stealing of vehicles and not long-term plans for stealing vehicles. And then they came out and said, hey, our plans for stealing vehicles have not changed, you ding-dongs.
I mean, it's kind of hard at the moment to spawn vehicles you actually do own. So
yeah.
People just like this is a classic case of two things. One, everybody overreacting to everything that was ever said, but more importantly, two, CIG not understanding the questions that are being asked of them.
Yes.
I'm going to go a step further and say that CIG is actively avoiding questions that are asked of them because I've more than once I've seen a community manager or someone who's interacting with the community completely and utterly butcher questions that people have asked. For instance, we still have no idea if there's going to be a female protagonist in
there is.
Auction.
Chris said there would be.
When?
Last week's reverse to
last
verse.
week's
Last week's?
reverse.
Okay.
Last week's reverse to verse was an hour with Chris, and one of, actually, let me look it up right now. There's this.
We have a website for that.
If any of you guys haven't heard about this, there's this fantastic website called relay.sc. Phenomenal.
It was literally the second question.
Yeah.
Well, no, they've got this really weird logo. I'm not sure if it's an E or a satellite.
I've heard that it's a satellite, but personally, I can't see it.
All right, so the question was, will Squadron 42 let the player be a female character? And Chris Roberts says, absolutely, 100%. As they are still working on animations, they only wanted to use one skeleton/character, the male, so they don't need to fix animations on both. Once the animations are finalized, they will create the full animation set for the female. Characters are fully customizable, and your character will carry across in the same thing that they've always said.
The problem was that there was no female mocap artist on these shoots. However, the thing is that it looks like they have been doing reshoots.
Yes.
Even last year, because when they talked about the mocap for Squadron 42, from Foundry 42 Frankfurt, they showed footage of Mark Hamill doing his examining a ship and then jumping off from the trailer for the the vertical slice, and that was obviously made recently, not back 3-4 years ago when they originally were pitching or originally filming the whole idea. So
I mean, that's probably also why we haven't seen what's her face in any promotional material yet.
Gillian Anderson?
Yeah. Because we've seen female NPCs, but they're like tier whatever, not tier 0 like Gillian Anderson.
No, we have seen a tier 0 female NPC. It's Tessa.
Oh, it's not Tessa, but the other. Well, we've seen the facial animations, but not the locomotion.
She played Tessa, the voice of Tessa. Yes. She's now also she's your personal engineer on your personal mechanic for your Gladius. She's
we've seen her facial animations. We haven't seen anything else.
Yeah, we have. We've seen her full body because when you walk down, you walk down on the.
Oh, you're right. Okay.
She comes up to you and says, "It's ready to go." Because she jumps out of the cockpit and says,
"Is she tier 0 though?"
She is. She's one of the main characters.
But that doesn't mean she's tier 0.
That's true. She could be a tier 1, but still.
Yeah.
We don't know.
Because aren't tier 0 characters literally the same as player characters in terms of animations?
Yeah, but she might be a tier 0 only because you interact with her all the time.
That's true.
She's going to be she's literally the person you're going to talk to every single time you go out.
That is my theory, though, is that the same reason why we haven't seen a female player character is the same reason why we haven't seen Gillian Anderson.
Yeah.
Is there one and the same problem is that they're not done yet. So
does that make either of you concerned that female characters are not supposed to come till 3.4, which is December, so Squadron 2019?
I've been saying Squadron 2019.
I say Jake and I have been saying Squadron 2019 at least since 2017.
I've been saying it since freaking CitizenCon when they're like, "Here's the roadmap." The last CitizenCon, the one before that.
Yeah,
we were at.
when they showed off the vertical slice, my thought was, nope, not coming next year. It's coming 2019. So
looks good. But this is so that vertical slice. I want to talk about it because I haven't talked about it on stream yet, or maybe I have. I don't know. Whatever. I want to talk about it. That vertical slice is literally what people would show off during their E3 announcement, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
So at the very least, we're a year out at the barest minimum.
Yeah.
At most, we're 2 to 3 years out. So I'm guessing somewhere in the middle of that. So I'm saying May 2019 is going that would be perfect. May is the primo slot for video game releases. That's when Red Dead 1 came out. That's when The Last of Us came out in June.
There's one problem with this. There's one problem with this though. Guess what else is coming out in May 2019?
What?
Anthem.
No, it's coming out fiscal 2018, so it's got to come out for the end of March.
No, their fiscal year ends Q1 2019.
What if Microsoft acquires EA?
Oh yeah, March. That's true. Microsoft is thinking about buying EA. I forgot about that.
That's garbage.
It's the kind of bold move that Microsoft would need to do to make the Xbox not the
piece of crap that it is.
Yeah.
Actually, there's something I want to talk about with Microsoft, actually, which is Sea of Thieves.
Mm-hmm.
If Microsoft buys EA, it wouldn't happen for at least another year. And do you know what EA's market cap is?
I know that their value is several $1 billion. $200 billion.
It's about $30 billion.
Yeah.
That is several Star Wars.
It would be the biggest purchase in gaming history. It
would be the biggest purchase in entertainment history.
But you know what that means as well,
though? 12 days work for Bill Gates.
The thing is that Microsoft is valued Microsoft is valued at somewhere between $200 and $500 billion.
Oh, I know, but I'm just saying, like.
And they also this is the
they have though.
The owner of Microsoft now is the same person who negotiated the Mojang deal for Minecraft. So a lot of people are saying she actually believes that gaming is the future and thinks that if we're gonna actually give a shit about gaming, we need to go all the fuck in. So
I do like the irony though, because in the early days, to get successful, Microsoft bought everyone.
Yeah.
Right. Sun Java Systems, etc. They bought everyone. EA got to that stage now where we buy everyone.
Yeah.
And then they shut them down. I really like the irony of Microsoft saying no. This is how you do it, and then buys EA.
And then shuts down several other parts.
Before we move
Not
on,
that I hope anyone gets out of job.
What's that, Jake?
There's people spreading the good old misinformation in the chat about what's going on with Anthem. So I'm going to post the original article that people have misquoted 1 billion times. It's Jason Schreier from Kotaku reported on this. Anthem.
By the way, if anyone ever is interested in what's going on in the industry, read a Jason Schreier article. He's the only investigative journalist in
you should actually read his book. It's really good. It's called Blood, Sweat, and Pixels. But anyway, he talks about Anthem, and yes, things are changing with some of the design of Anthem. It has not been completely scrapped and done over like Mass Effect Andromeda was. That did not happen. You can laugh at Kotaku all you want, but it's one of Jason Schreier's the best in the business.
Kotaku used to be really a joke, and they hired Jason Schreier, and he literally everyone respects the man. He's the one who broke the story on Mass Effect Andromeda. He's the one who's been breaking stories on EA. He has connections with EA, Ubisoft, and Activision.
Everybody.
He knows the big wheelers and dealers in terms of developers, project leads, and publishers. So he has connections.
While BioWare isn't exactly on the chopping block for this, BioWare's future does ride on the success of Anthem, and it's only been delayed to the end of the fiscal year.
And the fiscal year is March 31st, 2019.
Yes. But yeah, you should read that article. It's excellent. Yeah.
Fast Cart, Relay don't break news about Star Citizen. We just quote the devs properly.
Mm-hmm. Jason, that's how you spell his name, Jason Schreier. Go read his book.
Yep.
He's been
called Blood, Sweat, and Pixels.
And he's the guy who broke the story on Mass Effect Andromeda. I believe either before or just after the release of Andromeda.
I think.
He broke the news on No
Destiny
Man's Sky.
2, No Man's Sky, Destiny 2, and Battlefront, as well as Battlefront 2, and the latest on Anthem. So
he's one of the best in the business.
He's the only. I still say he's the only reporter in.
I would say Patrick Klepek and Austin Walker are both.
Yeah, I haven't heard of. I haven't read their articles. So
they have their own website now called Waypoint.
So we're gonna move back to Star Citizen a little bit.
I saw misinformation in the chat. I wanted to make sure it was corrected.
And the reason why I bring up reason why I was talking about Jason Schreier is that if he ever does an article on Star Citizen, don't immediately knee jerk on that shit because he does his fucking research. So
it hasn't been pushed way back. It's been pushed back a quarter.
Yeah,
which is pretty standard in the business as of the last 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. Mass Effect 3 was pushed back to that window. Mass Effect 2.
Most games are pushed back. It's just often you don't hear about it.
So
Citizen's been pushed back.
It also means that Anthem will have a development process of 7 years.
Yep,
which is kind of standard.
Cool.
And that's actually something I wanted to briefly mention is Sea of Thieves, which is very simple, to be honest. It looks gorgeous, but the gameplay is extremely simple. Even it had a game development time of 4 years. They started working on it back in 2014. And there's really not much to the game. There isn't even fishing.
You're just so dead set on fishing.
It's a game about the ocean, and you're on boats on the ocean. How is there no fishing?
It's also pretty much a standard thing in open world games that you have fishing in some way, shape, or form. Even freaking Far Cry 4 or Far Cry 5 has fucking
Final Fantasy 15 had fishing.
Well, that's because the Japanese are obsessed with fishing. For some
Who isn't obsessed with fishing?
Well, no, every game has to have fishing. I'm sure. Does Mario? Super Mario? What's the latest one?
Odyssey.
Odyssey. Does it have fishing?
I don't know, but it should.
In a game.
So what you're saying is you want a version of Super Mario Kart where you can pull over to the side, get out of your car, and when you're really in the lead, you can just do a bit of fishing.
Exactly. Or as you're driving, you have a fishing rod that you throw out the back, and then as you get fish, you can throw your fish at the enemies. And
will Star Citizen have space fishing?
Noscavian, you joke. Star Citizen needs space shipping, or Erris will blow a gasket. You joke, but Star Citizen does need not really space fishing, but on-planet fishing. And they did this week talk about the possibility of underwater vehicles. Very, very early talks about underwater vehicles. They will likely be in game if there are significant underwater areas, which would also include the presence of underwater flora and fauna. And
so
if
what you're saying
underwater fauna, you need fishing.
What you're saying is all that talk about underwater was substandard.
Substandard.
There are fully underwater planets in Star Citizen.
Green is one of the most notable examples, which is the location for the Grand Prix. Another Grand Prix, the
Murray Cup.
Oh, Murray Cup.
And there need to be space whales too. And then we need to have
space
whaling.
Done the space whales.
We have space whales.
I want to either have the option of playing for 80 hours or paying $80 to unlock a fishing rod. That's my idea of fun.
There need to be space whales, right? And people go whaling the space whales, and then you've got Greenpeace in game blowing the whalers up.
Well, I think the space whales are designed. I think the space whales are designed to actually live in gas giants. They're not vacuum. Yeah.
Excellent. That's a phone.
Space. If there's space whales, does that mean there's space krill?
Mm-hmm.
I hope so. Okay.
I always thought it was very clean in space because of the vacuum.
Yeah.
Shiver, you literally make my face hurt.
God, I'm dying. I'm dying here. Stop killing me.
So 3.01 hit live.
Yep. It is the most important update for Star Citizen as the top hat and monocle.
I disagree. the most important update will be when they add bow ties.
There is still no suit or tie options. There are still no vests.
Suits.
Look at this shirt, by the way. This is a freaking paisley shirt.
That shirt hurts my eyes.
It is vintage 70s. It is amazing.
It hurts my eyes. My retinas are on fire.
All glory to Hypno Erris.
Also, there's gold armor in the game now. For all us whales, the true space whales.
It is also entirely, and I mean entirely, gaudy and ridiculous. And
it's ridiculous
and wonderful.
It is wonderful.
It's one of those things where you'd expect them. It's the explorer armor, so it's just like when you're exploring in an 890 jump. That's what that is. It's when you're exploring in an 890 jump. When you absolutely positively have to have a mountain of cocaine and strippers where you're exploring new worlds. That's the whole vibe I'm getting from it.
Here's the thing, is I'm glad this kind of stuff is in Star Citizen, because that makes Star Citizen not so grimdark. Because it is a little bit grimdark.
Yep.
But then we have stuff like this, and then we have like the Kappa band shirts.
The very little bit we saw of the flora on the planet.
Well,
oh yeah.
I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about the game taking itself too seriously. And like we need a little bit of ridiculousness.
I feel like, I mean, Benny's is not serious, right?
But Benny's was unintentional. They didn't intend to put Benny's in. Benny's was put in by an artist who slipped it in because they needed to have some sort of face for the vending machine, and then the community took it and decided it was funny. And Pips is also in, but no one's done anything with Pips. Oh, we have done it, and we will continue to do it.
We did it with the sweepy guy.
But with the janitor? Yeah. With the janitor who's literally going to save us all from the van fuel?
Yeah. But the difference is, Benny's will always remain funny.
Remain funny.
Oh, God.
Shiver. Stop it.
Can't help it. I need serious help.
See, the best part about it is that because I'm a lore guy. Apparently, I've become more of a lore guy. So, but the best part about that is that you may not know this, but Benny's has its own history. It has its own lore. It has its own backstory. It's actually was made by a guy who used to be a long haul trucker who was tired of buying shitty food. So he settled down on some planet, I can't remember, I think it was green, and opened up a stall right by the spaceport where he was selling noodles that he made. And his son took over the business, and it became Big Benny's Noodles because he was Little Benny and his dad was Big Benny. And then it was purchased by General Terra Mills, and then was mass marketed to everybody else. It's essentially spicy ramen. It's like ramen mixed with like sriracha. Is all it is.
Cool.
Yeah.
I should go make some bennies later. So I did want to talk about one or two of the other things from this week's news that I thought were really interesting before we get to the
Benny's. All right. If you want to change your life, make some ramen noodles and put some peanut butter in there.
Put some tuna in.
Peanut butter.
Tuna.
You mix the peanut butter in there so it dissolves.
Tuna.
Change your life. Okay.
Tuna.
Let's move on. Yes.
So they mentioned some stuff about AI, refactoring AI, and they've revealed the first version of updates to spaceship behaviors where AI ships are now controlled by the NPCs inside the ship instead of the ship itself being an AI. That's important.
Yeah.
They're controlling and moving it over from being the ship being the AI to the pilot being the AI.
Yeah.
And that's important because they've talked about us being able to hire people on eventually to help crew larger ships. that is going to that is part of what will matter for that AI system, is the AI being able to fly the ships themselves, so that you could tell your AI to fly the ship while you go gun, and they'll be able to fly it.
I mean, it's like giving an AI in Halo control of your of a warthog. You can do it. I wouldn't suggest it, but you can do it. If you want to run your ship into 14 different asteroids on the way to like your destination, sure, do it. But in some cases, some players, that might actually be an improvement.
So another thing that they mentioned this week, they talked about a whole bunch of art passes for various weapons. There's a Gemini F-55 LMG, a Toral Aggregate K-Hix missile launcher, an A&R laser cannon, the Gallinson tactical Gatlings, the Trident attack system laser beam weapons, and the Associated Science and Development distortion repeaters.
Are they actual beam weapons, like the bubble cannons on the side of Republic gunships? Because that's what I want.
Maybe,
like
phasers. I don't know. But
phasers.
The most important thing to me that they mentioned is that they're working on scripts and tools to speed up the art pipeline. For example, a modular weapons creation script. Now, this is something that I've been arguing for since 2012.
Are we talking Borderlands weapons?
I think we're talking no. Not Borderlands weapons, but
I want a gun that shoots other guns.
As I understand, basically, when you've got a gun in Star Citizen, on the outside, to us, is what is how you identify it. But as far as the game is concerned, you could have a turtle that fires projectiles and kills people. It's all to do with the data stats. So basically,
Excellent.
It's just going to be
great idea, Shiver.
Right? That's
Package
what Blue Terrapin's going to be like. That's how you get shell shock. So it's basically going to be like, you're just going to have your basic components of handle, trigger, barrel, whatever you need to have basically a gun. And then the outside of that shell is just stuff you whack onto it. So you can have anything that visually fits on there. And it saves you so much time because you don't place everything in the shell itself.
I lost everybody.
What? Jake,
okay,
you're here.
Rip.
He's
hello.
Jake, what Jake's has is what I have is where like Skype completely freezes and then takes a while for it to come back. So we're still here.
No, now he's gone.
No, he's gone.
Come back, Jake. You're gonna screw up
back to us.
The video. Sorry, carry on, Shiver. Yes, Ghost 404.
Yeah.
Yes, Escape from Tarkov weapon customization, please.
Oh my God, that was already part of the plans for a long time ago.
Yes,
but here's the thing. What about the concept is that this is an MMO, and at the end of the day, you're going to need, as an MMO, you're going to need weapons, lots of weapons, thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of weapons.
Yep.
So
hi, I'm back.
Hey, Jake.
Hey, Jake.
Your video's
Welcome
not
back.
back.
Internet hiccuped.
Turn your video off and turn it back on again. That'll probably help.
What?
Quick.
Your video is a spinning wheel. Turn it off and turn it back on. Oh God!
I actually see the frozen picture of him. What's up with that?
I see the frozen picture of him too. Yeah.
All right, hold on. I'm gonna restart Skype. Be right back.
Go away, Jake.
His offline screen is funny.
It's great.
But what am I going to say? What was I saying? There's going to be a need to make stuff that looks somewhat similar to stuff we already have, but in different variations with different
Hello? Okay.
Yeah, the thing is, like, one of the things in MMOs is you start with a rusty dagger, and then you get a not rusty dagger, and then you get a rusty gladius, and then you get a rusty
There we go.
something else. But there's progression, right? And one of the questions that I've had for a long time about Star Citizen is, where is that progression going to be?
Whoa. There may not be any progression. Look at Mass Effect 2. The weapons in that were not necessarily progression, just alternatives to your play style.
That was the worst thing about that game.
No, I would argue that something along the lines of Borderlands or the original Destiny, would work. And that, yes, a lot of them are just reskins of the same gun that they've just kind of changed the stats a little bit. But making sure that you have a lot of variation for different styles helps tremendously, in the sense that, so long as it's not just copy pasta bullshit.
Are we getting old guns?
I hope so.
Yes, we are. We're going to be getting. They said that they're going to put in a 45 and some of the older weapons, and that's super easy for them to do.
Isn't one of the guns currently on Voyager Direct kinetic?
Yeah, the Gemini. Gemini makes kinetic weapons.
I want like an OG AK-47, just because.
I want
that would actually make sense, though.
Mosin Nagant.
But that's the thing, is that as someone said, like customization as a la Escape from Tarkov. We were supposed to have that with 3.0, because they had attachments like scopes and different sights and stuff like that, and arm guards and like underslung grenade launchers or whatever. But for some reason, it's not in, and so I'm hoping that that's one of the few things in 3.1 that they are going to add and not talk about when they add it, because it's not something that's new. It's just something they have to fix.
Jake, two things.
One,
your white balance is off. Two, I'm trying to figure out how to shut off your video because of what you just typed.
I'm a big time Mass Effect 3 apologist. So
I wouldn't say I'm an apologist, though I do agree that Mass Effect 3's ending was the message was, you can work really, really hard and you can try to change the universe, and sometimes that just gets you into the room to give you 3 decisions.
I didn't have too much of a problem with the ending, just how different the gameplay was compared to 2. There was a lot more story in 2, and I felt a lot more engrossed.
A lot.
And the end of 3 was kind of garbage. Like, the gameplay at the very end of 3 was very much a shitty, like, cop-out game design. I mean, compared to everything else we had.
Comparing Mass Effect 3 to Andromeda is just, you can't.
I'm sorry, but Sunshammer's right. Mass Effect 1 was the best of the trilogy. Yeah.
I disagree.
Mass Effect 1 was a better RPG. Mass Effect 2 was a better game.
I love how everyone has a favorite Mass Effect for whatever reason.
Well, Mass Effect 2.
The correct answer is 2 is the best one.
No.
2 is the best one only because it has the best story, the best character writing, the best gameplay, and the best.
So it's the best.
I'm going to play Mass Effect 2 this week. Jesus, that's it. I've got to play Mass Effect 2 now this week.
No, but I'm saying, like, it's of the Mass Effect trilogy, it is the closest to the perfect Mass Effect. There's still some problems with it, and like
it's the best game of the 360 PS3 generation.
Mm-hmm. Well, no, I would say that Last of Us is the best game of the 360 PS3 generation, but that's because
it's one of the few games that I feel I can replay and re-experience the story the same way that you watch a movie 3-4 times.
Well, it's got the advantage and disadvantage of that. It's the middle trilogy. They're like I'm expecting
the Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah, I'm expecting this with Squadron 42 as well. Like Squadron 42, people are going to get super nostalgic in the future when Squadron 42 is released in 2030. The first game will release and people will be like, oh, this is really fun. This is cool. I can't wait for the second game. And then the second game will come out and it'll be really good. And then the third game of Squadron 42 will end up being garbage. It'll be good, but the ending will be really disappointing,
Mass Effect 1 set up this really interesting universe where you grew as a person and the people around you grew as people as well. And then Mass Effect 2 came in, kicked on that, pissed on it, and said, hey, we've got better shooting, love us. And
what are you talking about? Literally the whole point of Mass Effect 2 is to build relationships and evolve those characters' stories.
And kick and shit on everything from Mass Effect 1. Oh, here's a thing you liked from 1 because it was a great game. We're going to fuck it over. Inventory, fuck it. Good gun, fuck it. People that you like,
the guns were so much better in Mass Effect 2.
Mass Effect 1 was a better RPG than Mass Effect 2. However, the problem with Mass Effect 1 was that the story was not even up to BioWare standards at times. Like the ending, like let me put this progression. You talk, at the end of Mass Effect 1, you face Saren and you have the option, which the true ending, of course, is you convince Saren to shoot himself in the face.
Yes.
But that's the problem, is that you literally have been fighting this guy this entire game, and you go up there in a couple of lines of, "We believe in you." Blah blah blah. No, but I believe in you. You're right. And he goes, "Oh yeah, you're right." Boom! Like,
have you ever played?
Really?
Have you ever played?
This guy is
Fable
a
2?
fucking badass. He is a huge badass evil motherfucker, and 3 lines of dialogue convince him to just take a gun out and blow his own brains
It
out.
convinces him
What
that
the
he
fuck?
was sitting there. It convinces him that he was used by a thing more evil than himself. Have you ever played Fable 2 to the end?
How do you
Okay.
convince someone under mind control that he's under mind control?
Is he still under mind control at that point?
I ruined it for you. Well, I'm sorry.
Let's say hi again.
I'm sorry. I ruined. I ruined it on almost 13-year-old
Which Mass Effect
game.
did you think was better, Aubrey?
Do you like Mass Effect?
I'm sorry, but Fable 2, in my opinion, had one of the best endings in video games, period. I love the ending, and part of it is because of that kind of feeling of the villain, the evil guy at the very end, sitting there and soliloquizing and just talking at you, and he will talk at you for 10 minutes, and then one of your friggin' AI companions will just say, "Fuck it," and kill him. And I love that.
But then, like, the problem with all Mass Effects is that they have very lazy boss battles. They're all really bad. Like, because the end of Mass Effect 2's boss battle was garbage. Like, the journey to the boss battle was great. But
Fast Cart, I would like you to understand that this podcast has been an influenza cast,
Sea of Thieves cast, and now it's a Mass Effect cast, and now it's about to be a U cast, because it's about that time where we switch to your questions to hopefully...
Wait, we still got 5 minutes. Yep. Can we talk about Amigas?
Amigas? Wait, like Amigas the console?
Computer?
All right.
Amiibos the thing for Nintendos.
Amiga, the amazing old computer.
I'm going to wrestle control of this and talk about Star Citizen for 5 minutes, which is simply, they did say that they're going to add to meshing, server meshing with 3.4. Yep. I don't think it's going to make it to 3.4, but the fact that they're putting it on the list is nice, because it means, like, hey, they're actually paying attention to it. But
does anyone have any thoughts about Voyager Direct being killed finally?
I'm going to miss my grey cat, my fish tonk.
Yeah, but at the same time, thank God it's dead. Thank God it's dead. It needs to get moved over to the game. Lots of things to get moved over to the game, but they haven't done it. Like Hurston, it sounds like, is when we're going to finally be able to buy ship weapons, which is nice. That's not going to be until 3.3, I think. So.
Oh, I love you, Aubrey.
And thank you, CIG, for making a patch that fixes some, like, at least circumvents some of the bugs, some slight performance boosts as well. But you know, it's a nice that you're caring that we play the game and not just sit there twiddling our thumbs for 3 months while you work on the next patch. You know,
or a year.
Yeah.
I'm pretty happy with this year so far. I do want to know from you guys, though, CitizenCon, what do you expect? What do you hope for? And where are you going?
I have no expectations.
20-minute delay to the start. At least.
I'm going to say that they're on time.
I'm expecting it to be in Austin. And I have no excuse not going to it because I live in Austin.
I will say it's going to be in 2018.
Yes.
Okay.
I do want to recommend anyone who is planning on coming to bring a light jacket, because October is not cold, but it can get pretty in the 50s or 60s down here.
Hang on. What does 50 or 60 translate to in Celsius?
That's about 15 to 10.
And you're telling people to bring coats? That's t-shirt weather.
No, a light jacket.
A light jacket, because some people it'll get
colder at night, and we'll be there at night.
Yeah,
that is t-shirt weather.
It still gets down to about like 8 degrees Celsius in the evening. So nothing crazy. It's still nice weather, but it's also very windy down here. So even though it's 8 degrees Celsius, it gets
here.
I heard this legend
here in Canada.
I heard this legend that you have a yellow ball in the sky there, and water doesn't fall from the sky very often.
I've heard
it falls very often.
Are not
actually it
ice.
Falls very often here.
Yeah.
This is not Arizona.
We've got
Texas.
It's also not. It's not West Texas.
There's this thing up here in Canada where you don't stop wearing a t-shirt until it goes below 0. 0 is the okay. I guess I should put a sweater on.
Shiver, you do realize Houston got like destroyed by water, like in the last few months, right?
The funny part was to see.
But did that water fall from the sky, or did it like?
It did.
Rush.
It did fall from the sky.
It did both. And the funny part is to see a picture. There's a great picture of like this street sign in Houston underwater in October, and then in December there's a picture of that same street sign frozen.
Yep.
Nice.
It's been a weird year.
Yeah,
guys, it's no joke.
Apparently, it is to a sizable portion of the American population. So let's move on to some of your questions, because I want to throttle every single one of you Americans. Starting with
Tilu, their internet is too fast.
It's true. Well, actually, no, they're going to throttle themselves. They got it covered.
Yeah, we are.
Tilu asks, what's Jay Lee's Dream Star Citizen outfit, and has he drawn it already? I don't know. We'll have to ask him when we force him on the cast, as he said that he would be once we actually go and ask.
He's actually never admitted what it is, but he has said that he has made it and it is going to be in game.
I'm hoping it's chaps.
Assless chaps.
Yeah.
Assless chaps. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm hoping for some form of steampunk attire. It goes completely out of left field, so people are gonna be like, "Why are you dressed in like gears and a top hat and like 18th century garb?"
I mean, we did just get the top hat and monocle, so
because it's the freaking future, and fuck you, I can wear what I want. I'm also hoping for a for some kind of attire that is like fantasy-esque, like a full plate of armor.
Can we change our underpants?
No, but that'd be nice.
What underpants?
Good point.
You know what? You're right.
So Christians in Space, the musical.
Hey, Norik.
How do you think planet-side HUD markers should be handled? Currently, they sort of just show up all at once, no matter if they're on your side of the planet or obstructed or not. I would personally blast my rope if none of them showed up at all. Instead, all markers would only be seen via Mobiglass unless you selected said marker, because as of now, it just gives me fucking hernias for days in my eyes.
In your eyes. Hernias in your eyes.
Eye hernias.
Here would be my ideal situation. You see nothing unless you've scanned it or you have a map of some kind that has like the locations on the map.
Or they are broadcasting.
Yes, or they're broadcasting. And you can pull up a Mobiglass or you can pull up a map and you can see the different locations and select them. And then it pops up on your HUD.
There's plenty of points of interest on the planets that don't show up.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you have the ability to scan for those, and then they show up because you're nearby them while you scan for them. That makes more sense.
I would also like the ability to turn them off at will.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
What if there was a specific mode just for that, and that was the only way you could see them unless you say there's a navigation mode. When you're in navigation mode, that's when you see fucking everything. You can select, pin this to my normal HUD, this particular marker, and then when you go back to normal vision, there it is, and you can still plot a course to it.
Yeah, that makes sense, and that's basically what we had with the 2.6.3 and the 2.7 6, which you had the mode where you had to bring it up and it brought up all of the like local markers that you could choose. Then you choose a marker and then you would go and then you turn it off and it would just all the markers would disappear.
So guys,
unless you buy them.
I want to throw out a thought. See, there's this this really I know that not many people use it, but there's this program that I've been using a lot. You guys should try it out. It's called Google Maps. And it lets you like select the different things that you want to see on the map. And you're like, I'm hungry. I only want to see restaurants. And it'll like show you the restaurants nearby. Maybe they should implement something like, I know it's new tech. I know it hasn't been around for a while. But I'm thinking something like that could be an improvement to the game.
Sure.
I don't know what your thoughts are, but hey.
No.
Captain Penis.
Crazy enough to work.
Captain Penis asks, favorite 2 ships from any sci-fi universe, starting with Jake.
Can I go to top 5?
No,
because
2.
I can't pick my babies.
2.
I can't choose for my children.
2.
Do it. Do
I
it.
can't do 2.
Okay, we're skipping you then. Paul.
No.
I have to look up the name of it, but it's from Babylon 5.
Oh no.
Fighter. The name of it, Star Fury. The Star Fury is one of my favorite ships because it's one of the few ships that has actually been presented to NASA. And NASA said this ship would work in space because it's completely designed to be a weightless standing fighter where it has its thrusters are properly placed so that it could maneuver the way that it's shown to maneuver. Like all of the human ships pre like Minbari technology in Babylon 5 would be standard NASA style designs. It's just they look more militaristic and futuristic because they're like set 100 years in the future. So
that's one. What's your second?
The second one would be what is that ship? The Defiant from Defiant class from Deep Space Nine because it's small and awesome and it's very much like a submarine and I like that kind of spaceship style.
Shiver.
He's frozen. He's absolutely frozen.
Is he frozen or thinking? No, he's frozen. Okay, Jake, you've got one more chance.
All right,
2,
I'm
go.
doing 5.
No,
Screw
you're
you.
cut. You're cut. So
No.
My 2 are two are the TARDIS and the Heart of Gold. Moving on to the next question.
No,
fast card.
please.
No, I said 2.
Let me do 5.
No,
okay,
2.
but you can't say anything but their names. Go.
Okay, Defiant, B-Wing, Normandy, Enterprise E, and the Millennium Falcon.
Okay, moving on. Fastcard asks, who's going to Citizen
The Normandy
Con
Mark
this year?
II, that is.
Who's going to CitCon this year?
Me.
Hopefully me. I think Shiver also said he was going to hopefully go. We'll see. He clearly lost his internet because he lives in the United Kingdom, which screws up everyone's video stuff, but I'm not changing it because I'm lazy. Mammon asks, what's the dealio with losing uninsured ships? Over the last 2 weeks, I've heard you will and won't lose them. You will lose them. If your ship is uninsured and it blows up, it gone.
However, it's not gone forever. You can still have the option to purchase it back once you have the money.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you can still buy it back. It's just with the insurance, if your insurance runs out, with the insurance, essentially you get it for free if you wait, or you can pay for the expedited, the copay essentially for it. But once you run out of, the deductible, I guess is what it, yeah. And once you have run out of your insurance itself, you can choose to re-up it. And if you choose not to re-up it and you lose the ship, then you can get the ship back, but you have to pay for the price of that ship in-game cash.
Bang Chow just reminded me that the Rocinante is a close number 6 on my list.
Mm-hmm. The Rossi would have beat out the Defiant, except for the fact that the Defiant is in my list only because it's like a warship in a piece.
The best.
It's the only warship made by the Federation. It's like literally the only ship designed for war, and that's kind of badass. A pacifist. What does a pacifist culture think of a warship? And that like a tiny little like beefy piece of like a war tech is awesome. Sorry.
So Fastcart asks too, Jake, how's the new house? And Jake, welcome back. Did you hit record?
I don't record things, and it doesn't exist at the moment. I don't have it yet.
Adolf Hitler asks, how important do you consider two-factor authentication?
Are you kidding me? What kind of stupid question is that?
Two factors in, and it's great. Keep it.
It's vital.
Yeah. Everyone has it. It's
do you
like
want
secure.
your accounts to be secure?
No.
And someone else said, someone asked, ships bought with cash will not be lost, though. No, but you will have to pay in-game money for them to get back if you run out of insurance.
Yeah.
So they're not gone, but you still have to pay in-game money for them.
Besides, ships that you buy with real money come with an absurd amount of free insurance. So,
yeah.
Like,
keep in mind,
like
for anyone
3
that
months
doesn't
of
know,
in-game time is like several thousand hours of gameplay.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
And also keep in mind that you have to purchase any upgrades you purchase. You also have to insure separately.
Yeah, keep in mind, and this is something that new people often don't know. When CIG say you get 3 months insurance with a ship, what that actually means is you get 2,190 game time hours of insurance with that ship.
That's a lot of hours.
That's a lot of hours.
Over the course of 10 years, I have about 18 to 19,000 hours in World of Warcraft. Actually, almost 15 years. So just think about
that's with your ship time.
Yes.
You have total 15 something plus 1,000 hours with all of your different characters. This would be the equivalent of like that many hours in that one ship period.
Yeah, I think do we know that actually? If you're logged in, is it only the one ship that you're using?
It's only the ship that you're using.
Jeez,
yeah.
That's even worse.
Yeah.
So basically, your ships are fine.
Because like, why would you pay for insurance on a car that sits in your garage?
I mean, I have to.
Yeah, I do too.
That's kind of how insurance works because they're assholes. Fastcart asks. Shiver's coming back. The Super Bowl is tomorrow. Which commercials are you rooting for? None of them.
Solo.
I'm rooting for none of them, though I am hoping to see the Han Solo and see that train wreck of a movie. That is going to be such a train wreck of a movie. And it's so good.
Don't care. I'm gonna watch it. It's got to be better than episode 1.
Thank you for coming back there, Shiver, because my cat was trying to hold the pun game down, and I don't think he
doesn't exactly know what a pun
adorable
is.
as he is with his little socks.
Yes, he does have little socks.
Okay, there, that's back. Welcome back, Shiver.
Hi.
So the next question is from Master of Harrymuff. Are you streaming the Falcon Heavy liftoff? As far as
when is it?
It's the 6th, I think, or something. It's next week.
As far as we know, maybe.
I know that Nakara wants to take work off to stream it. I'm not sure if he will be able to. We'll see. But then again, depending on the day that it happens, if it's like the 6th or 7th, I might be home to stream it because we're supposed to get 25 centimeters of snow up here, and that would be a snow day. So we're going to try our utmost to stream it. With any luck, we will. Follow us on Twitter or here on Twitch to find out before we
David.
Yeah?
David.
Yeah.
I just saw this question from last week, and this person has the best username.
Which one? Sorry,
Up
1
here.
second.
Up here, look at the document.
Oh yeah. No, that's actually my name in Shiver's Discord. Yeah. Yeah.
Shiver's very mature.
Very mature Discord. Yeah. So Fastcart asks, what do you all think of the new concierge page and the new rewards? Who wants that gold armor?
I have it.
They're fine, and I have it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I have it, but do I?
I don't mind the whole like concierge thing because it makes sense. I like that they changed concierge to
Jake,
the chairman's club is what it's called now.
I'll be right back. I need another beer.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. All right.
Let's go to the questions. Where are they? Oh, here.
These people have the best user.
Yeah, that one's from my server as well.
They're all so good. Master of Harry Muff says, "How do I post best on Instagram?"
Is Instagram the food one, or is that Tumblr?
That's Instagram.
Instagram's the food one.
Yeah.
Right.
Tumblr is the nested text one.
Also nudes. Tumblr is nude.
Yeah.
It's either nudes or social justice. One of the two.
They're not mutually exclusive though.
No, they're not. Social justice nudes do exist.
Winstill asks, if Falcon Heavy goes terribly wrong, what would be the best way for it to go?
Oh, exploding
up
in air as it was going up.
Yeah, literally a firework.
Because that thing is not only inexpensive as a rocket, it's expensive because it's because it's got one of the most expensive cars in existence on top of it.
What they need to do is make it.
It's not that expensive.
The rocket does explode,
but it's very rare. It's one of the first generation roadsters.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah. The best way. No. The best way would happen is if it exploded and then flamethrowers just cascaded down from it onto the ground below.
Fastcard says, "What are your thoughts on the RSI website revamp? It's not finished."
Yeah.
Phase did seem to be just for new players coming in to see an easier way to navigate around.
I have two major problems with the website as it stands. One, when you log onto it for the first time and it gives you the three options, it doesn't tell you what the three options mean.
Yes.
So, like, what the fuck is Squadron 42? What the fuck is Star Citizen? What the fuck is Follow the Developer?
What are they?
Look, we don't know what they are if you're a new player. So if you had a little blurb of like, hey, Squadron 42, the single player experience in the verse. Okay, it's the single player game. Star Citizen, an MMO sandbox first person universe for you to explore. Oh, that's an online game.
Robin Noodle Simulator.
Follow the development of both Squadron 42 and Star Citizen. Oh, that's just like to follow like what's going on in the game. Then bam, that's just some little blurbs to kind of clear that out. And the other problem I have is that when you go as a first-time user to the store to purchase a game package, it immediately hits you with a $200+ ship.
The only thing that should be available if you are not signed in or if you have a new account with no ship on it is either an Aurora package or a Mustang package.
I wouldn't mind
seeing package.
I wouldn't mind seeing the Squadron package as well, but also some of the like $60 to $100 packages, because that's standard industry standard for games. You can have your standard package, you have your gold pack, and all that kind of stuff. But when you see a fucking ships, not packages, but ships available on the store as a non-signed-in user, and those ships are included Constellation Andromeda, which is $200+.
Actually, sorry.
No.
What I actually want to say there is when you log in, either without a package or without an account, the only things that you should be able to buy, or the only things that you should see at first, unless you really go looking for them, are packages. You should have to buy a package first. You should be shown packages only first, because if you don't have a package, you can't play the buddy game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So only show packages.
I know there are people who are confused with the fact that they bought a ship and they're like, "Well, I've got a game, right?" It's like, "No, you've got a ship.
You got a ship, yeah."
And that's bad.
That's not good.
Happening.
Yeah. Just an update on a previous question. I do have an update from Nakara. He is going to be trying to stream the Heavy launch this week, but it is very tentative at this point. Again, We'll update you more when we know. So can I quickly say what I hate about this website when I log in?
Go for it.
So I go into robertspaceindustries.com and I see Disco's mug sitting here talking, and this autoplay video takes up the entire screen. It really doesn't have to, guys. Use the real estate better, for crying out loud. And then I scroll down and there's Comlink, community development. Okay, that's very nice, but underneath that, it's live stats. And answer the call, enlist today, or prepare for flight. Basically, enlist today. Pledge and pledge. Guess what? I've already pledged. I've already pledged thousands. Don't show me this shit.
It's not done yet, is the answer to this question.
No,
unless they think it's done. And then my answer still stands is that no, it's not.
It's not.
It's not done, but they need to take this feedback and roll with it. There's almost it's.
Oh, I'm not using that to dismiss your thoughts. I'm just saying, like, that is my criticism, is that it's not finished.
I also don't like the featured posts also taking the entire screen. Like, there's just so much scrolling to get to anything, and I don't just.
It runs better on mobile, I will say that.
I actually haven't loaded on mobile, to be honest. Let's go to the next question.
You should try mobile first.
They should have done mobile first. That would have been smart. But hey, no one ever listens to me, even though I'm right all the time. My god-awful shirt says, do you think the Voyager Direct solution will happen before 3.1, so we'll get more starting AUEC in-game?
Maybe?
No, I don't think so.
No?
I'd say by 3.2, definitely.
Yeah, I'd say by the middle of the year, but probably not. Because the problem is that anytime they mention something like, hey, we plan on doing this, it either happens 3 to 6 months later.
Away,
Jake's Tiny Human asks, why does glue taste so good?
Because it's delicious.
There we go. Shiver's 37th black shirt asks, when we can steal ships, do you think that there will be enough of a reason to do so rather than just fence, scrap, or salvage the ship? Jake, take it away.
That is literally, or like, to keep. Those are the 4 reasons why you would steal a ship.
Mm-hmm. The only reason,
just the lols, is another one.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. 5.
I have a question, actually. If you steal someone's ship,
those are the reasons.
I have a question though. If you steal someone's ship and then do bad shit in their ship, will it be you that gets the reputation, or will it be them?
They do say that ships carry reputation, but people can report their ships as stolen.
Yes, but if you do bad shit in someone else's ship and the ship gets the reputation, and then you leave and go back to your own pristine good ship that has no bad reputation, maybe that's a way to do bad shit. Like, you steal to pirate, you steal ships to do your pirating in.
And that's
no, I just love this question because they're literally like, do you think there will be enough of a reason to do so other than the reasons to do so?
Yeah. I mean, you're not wrong, Erris. That's literally what people do when they're like going to do a big illegal action. They often use stolen vehicles to do the action because they don't want to be caught on their own vehicle, because they don't want to get anything that's tied to them.
Yes.
However, one counterpoint is the plan might have changed from the very early days of they don't want you earning or anything like that when you're not online. I would have thought that if you're not online and someone uses your ship to pirate in at least in the ideas of balance, that also means that your reputation can't be crapped on nor increased when you're offline.
Your reputation, though, it would
be your
ship's reputation.
Yeah,
because the ship has its own reputation.
Why would my ship have its own reputation?
Because
the Millennium Falcon has its own reputation.
Doesn't matter who's flying it.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like and you're not going to necessarily know who's flying a ship, especially larger ships. So if a ship gets really well known, like the Enterprise has its has a reputation.
I would
there are
say,
various different crew and captains in the Enterprise, but the Enterprise its name carries
weight. Literally,
True.
the entire beginning of Star Trek Generations is about the reputation of the Enterprise.
And the thing about even the Squadron 42 vertical slice, the Stanton has its own reputation because we know that the captain of the Stanton started his career on the Stanton and then ended up becoming the captain of the Stanton. And often in military careers, you get transferred from ship to ship to ship. And so the idea that it has enough of a reputation that when he started his career on the Stanton, he eventually came back to the Stanton to become its captain, which means a lot especially in the military. So ships and vehicles will have their own reputation because if I'm flying some famous pirate ship, and even though there's a different captain or someone else is a captain, no one's going to know the captain is flying it. They'll see the ship and say, "Fuck, that's the good ship."
That's the good ship. XX Reaper spelt with 3 and then XX11 LOL XX exclamation mark. Exactly. I hate that ship.
Yeah. They could see my ship and they could say, this ship knows some maneuvers, and then they just see it gently careening over to the left slowly and reasonably at a normal pace and not doing any evasive maneuvers.
And they'll say, "Oh, Erris is driving."
Man, that guy knows
slowly.
That guy knows his maneuvers. He knows how to. Wasn't that listing lazily to the left?
So Master of Harry Muff asks, "How do you like the Yila Imnana song?"
Oh, it's pretty good.
It's very clever.
It's the cover of Heart is in Havana. That one, yeah.
Yeah.
Fastcart asks or says, "I made a GIF. How soon can we expect Erris's shirt to be an emote?"
Never.
But Jake, when is our next emote coming? Because I think we decided what it would be.
No, we didn't.
Yeah, I thought we decided it was STGD.
Oh, as our gold tier one?
Yeah.
Oh, we could do that, yeah.
Yeah, I thought STGD was going to be our gold tier.
I thought we were going to make it an emote at some point, but I didn't think we were going to make it the gold tier.
Oh.
All right, here's what we're going to do. Because eventually, someday in the next 15 years when we get partnered, I'll make a regular STGD emote.
Yeah.
But I'll make the gold one now for the $24.99.
Okay, and it'll be gold?
Yes.
Gold. You're literally shitting the goddamn
gold dam.
Shit the gold dam. Okay.
Yes.
Disposable Hero 78 STGD stands for shit the goddamn. It's what happens when CIG shit the goddamn. So Astro's Grandpa Vest asks, "How's everyone liking the updates to the roadmap, and do you think that they should make it easier to see the changes week to week?"
Yeah. It's good. I like the roadmap. I don't give a shit about those kind of major changes because whatever,
Yeah, I like just the roadmap. I don't really know that we need to track the changes. That's what that change tracker that you can find on Reddit's for. It does a pretty good job, but I like that it's just they're like, "Hey, here's where we're at. Doesn't matter where we were before. This is where we're at." And that matters to me more than where they were. Because you got to look forward, and you can't look forward if you look back. Erris's bow tie, or rivals, says, "Can you take off this ridiculous shirt? It's killing me." I will take it off eventually, but not until the show's over. Because unfortunately, the white shirt that I have underneath it, my nipples show through. Fun fact. Fastcart asks, "What are you guys doing to celebrate Black History Month?"
We're gonna have you on the show at some point.
Next month. No, next week. Hey, Fastcart, are you free next week?
Honest. There's an honest question I actually had about this. In that, if you look at the lore of Star Citizen, and if you look at the characters involved in Star Citizen right now, there are no there's a there's a decided lack of minority representation. Considering this is the far future and humanity is supposed to be represented through all of its different various shades and colors, it seems like we have a lot of white people and not a lot of white men and not a lot of
crushing my nose.
You don't need a nose.
And a lot of other a lack of other skin pigments, even though it's a huge part of the population, if not the biggest parts of the population. So I'm wondering, even in terms of like CIG, like where are the black people? Where are the Asian people? Where are the, like, I guess we have Trejo, but Trejo even herself is kind of white, not really Latino or yes, Jack. He's very animate about it as well. But that's a good, that's been an honest question for me. It's like, where's this diversity in the universe if it exists in this far future? And this would be a good time to do it in the U.S. for Black History Month. Sorry, I took a joke question and turned it into a serious one.
What is happening?
I don't know.
Somewhere David is listening to AC/DC.
Yes. Someone said Back in Black.
Back in Black, yeah.
Yeah, and I was,
You're on the highway to hell now.
Ah, God damn it. Disposable Hero says, are the details on Erris's shirt between all the red, blue, or silver? They're actually black.
They're black, yeah.
Here.
Black.
I'll move up.
Is this a blue and black, white and gold situation?
Yes. The dress situation.
Yeah.
There. Now you got a good look at that shirt. Fastcart asks, what does your best Wookiee mating call sound like? So Fastcart, who called us out earlier for not being a Star Citizen podcast, has asked numerous questions about Wookiees, and we love you, Fastcart. I'm not even gonna attempt to make a Wookiee mating call.
Yeah, my nose is stuffed, so I'm not doing it.
Yeah, my throat is shot. That would be a bad idea.
Shiver, what's your
it's up to
excuse?
you.
Shiver, what's your excuse?
This is the phone, just for a prop, and I believe it would go something like, "Yes, hello, I'm using the new translator to speak to you, and I would like very much to go out on a date with you." I wish to engage in courtship rituals with you. Dost thou accept?
Yes, they are 16th century British is
Yes.
how they speak. When you hear the Wookiees with their screeches, they're actually saying, "Forsooth, thou art the heavens themselves, and you are a scoundrel and a knave for saying such for."
But I dost
besmirching
find thine face hairs so beautiful. Mightst I strokest them?
Thy
With
name means
fervour?
rip out the jugular and feast on the innards inside? What a beautiful name.
David.
Yes? Sorry. Next question. Fastcart says, not a question, but this is for Paul. Say in a nasally voice, actually, Mass Effect Andromeda is the best Mass Effect ever.
Okay. Actually, Mass Effect Andromeda is the best Mass Effect ever because it's the first one that actually embraces the open world situation. You can go wherever you want, and it has the best writers of all time because they just really cared about the story, and they actually brought in like people from all over different experiences and backgrounds, and yeah. What Fastcart is referring to is that what I absolutely hate are the actually people.
Well, the word actually makes me angry.
Well, because it's like you try to explain something in a simple manner that people can understand, and so you cut out things or you generalize because it's easier to just kind of generalize and then kind of explain later than it is to try to go into absolute detail with somebody. But then you always, when I do something like that on stream, someone always types in chat, actually, I'm smarter than you. I'm going to explain why I'm the smartest and explain all of these little details. And to them, it may actually be they're like, hey, I'm trying to like be more specific so you know have all the information. But they don't realize is that most people don't give a fuck about all the information. They just want to know the goddamn information, like some gist, an elevator pitch. So it's easier for them to kind of get a perspective. If they give a shit,
I'm here for fun. Can you give me a really, really quick explanation of, whatever it is you're talking about? I just quickly, please explain it. Oh yeah, here it is. This is a fork. It's got 4 prongs and it's kind of fun. Well, actually,
yeah, fuck those people. Fuck them so hard. All right, I'm just gonna say that because it's like no one gives a shit. You're trying to make yourself look important, and I will actually punch you in the face if you do that to me in the face.
Literally,
in person. Literally punch you in the face if you do it in person.
Unfortunately, that was actually our last question. But we've got 12 minutes left. Guys,
it takes us 12 minutes to wrap up the show anyway.
No, it doesn't. It takes us 2 minutes. Jake, you won't be on the show again for 4 months, so we don't care what you're doing because you're busy all the time. Paul.
Once I have the living space that isn't this living space.
We have seen a few people walking behind, yeah. How is that coming, your living space?
It's coming. Yeah? I think we have a pretty solid candidate.
Good.
But yeah, we'll see.
Paul, I've actually got sorry, just he's coming.
Bless you.
I apologize. Paul,
you're allergic to that shirt.
Yeah, everyone is. Paul, can you tell us a little bit about the history show that you've been doing lately? Because I don't think we've had you talk about it.
So what I started creating was something I call Galactic Historian. It is inspired by Star Citizen, though it's not limited by it. I may do some other series. Some of the other things I'm interested in doing are things like the Mech Warrior universe, BattleTech universe, kind of history. The concept,
if you do Star Wars, I will be on that show.
Okay, we might be able to do some Star Wars. I'm not a huge fan of Star Wars lore, only because because Star Wars lore bounces around like insanity. Like
not anymore.
If you use Star Trek, can I come in on that? Because I
Star Trek. I like Star Trek. Star Trek actually makes a lot more sense than Star Wars.
But that's why I said have me on it, so you don't have to do it.
So I don't have to do it. But the idea of Galactic Historian is video games are a rising medium. I'm a history teacher by trade. It's my day job, and or social studies overall. So because I do some other stuff as well, like government and economics. But I always have loved lore because I like history, I like stories, I like the background. Like, tell me why does this universe exist? Yes, I enjoy blowing alien faces off or fighting demons in high fantasy medieval eras, but why am I swinging a sword at these demons? Where do they come from? What's going on? Because that's more interesting to me than just enjoying myself. I like to enjoy myself with context. And Star Citizen is unique in that the context actually will matter because those contexts will add to your reputation depending on who you're working with. And so the concept behind Galactic Historian initially is I'm going to tell you guys some background information so that you have more context to do jobs, do missions, and to understand why your reputation will increase or decrease depending on who you're working with. That was the initial concept. And right now I'm doing big picture stuff. I've covered the UEE structure. I'm going to go back and redo that eventually because it was the first time I'd ever done something like this. And then I did the Tavaran, the first and second Tavaran wars and the Vanduul invasions, and I've done the entire history of the Mezzers, which is a surprising amount of information about them as well. Next, we're going to be working on Robert Space Industries, the history of Robert Space Industries, the manufacturer. And again, the whole purpose is to give you guys a context. Each episode lasts between 30 minutes and an hour. I record them live on my podcast, on my stream. And a week later I put them on YouTube. But if you're interested, they're all on YouTube, Twitch or youtube.com/c/theastropub for those who are interested. So yeah. Go watch them. They're good. They're good listening material, at the very least. I'm probably going to turn them into.
What the heck is this?
Don't click it.
Oh my god! What is happening? What is happening in this picture?
Is this a 70s themed disco, or did you just show up at an actual club? And
I went to a club.
Jesus.
I have no shame.
Yeah.
Get used to it.
I like how the person you're high-fiving is like, no, don't
Please,
show my face.
Just stop. I don't want this in my life.
Oh, what is this? I feel like Erris stepped out of a time portal from the 1970s. That's what it feels like.
All right, since nobody ever does it, I'm gonna do it. It's time for the relay shilling happening. Here we go.
Yeah, because I have shame, Jake.
Okay.
I don't have enough shame to not show that, but I do have enough shame to not self-shill.
If you enjoyed this, you should be following Relay_SC on Twitter, where they do all sorts of announcements. And this isn't the only show they do. They do the Beefcasts. They also do the the rewind,
Relay.
or the
Replay.
The replay.
Replay, and several others. And you can support your favorite news, information, and drinking source, talking about Star Citizen
And beer.
Influenza, beer, Mass Effect, just gaming in general. On Patreon and here on Twitch. If you subscribe, $4.99, $9.99, or $24.99, you can get cool emotes as well for doing so. So please,
they're not cool.
Support them.
They're bad.
And
one of them is my face.
Maybe someday they'll be able to afford a little bit more ramen.
Yeah.
Or a decent shirt.
Yes.
There's one thing you forgot, Paul.
What's that?
If you want to hang out with us, literally anytime, especially at 2:30 in the morning is usually when I'm there. Discord.gg/relaysc. Come hang out. We have a cool little community. We like talking about SpaceX and like video games, comic books. Why
Amigas.
David is the worst.
You know, Jake, everyone says that I'm the worst, but where would you be without me?
You know what? You're right. I would be not here, which is better than the alternative. Sometimes we talk about music and we go off on insane tangents, and it's horrible. So you should join us because it's fun. Discord.gg/relaysc. It's the only URL that doesn't allow underscores, so we couldn't have unified branding. You suck, Discord.
Yeah, and fix your goddamn videos.
Yeah, we want to use you for everything.
We do,
but we can't.
Paul, what do you got coming up later today?
Today we've got the captain's table, where we have Bristol Boy, Darjanator, Matauchi, and Dragon Diablos are going to all be on live. We're going to talk about Star Citizen and alcohol, mostly just alcohol. On Sundays I'm going to be two things. I'm going to be doing Pantsless and Picado. But before that, Natachi is doing a new series about streaming. I don't remember the exact name of it. I think it's called Stream Theory. Yeah, it's Stream Theory. Stream Theory, where he's going to bring people on from all over, Twitch and other streaming sites to talk about what is, just shoot the shit, talk shop about streaming, what streaming's like, what it takes to make it in streaming, the story of how streaming how people can move in their own, how people made it in their own communities and such. So if you're interested in that, that'll be happening, I believe, at 2 p.m. Central at Matachi's, and then of course our Pensless in Picado will be returning Sundays at 9 p.m. Central.
This reminds me, I want to shout out my friend because I want to support him. Speaking of PUBG, my IRL best friend Tim is a professional PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds player for the esports team Evil Geniuses, and they're playing several tournaments over the next couple weeks. He's really good, and manages to make like a super serious match hilarious because he enjoys memeing people even in actual tournaments. It's really good. So go follow him. Is twitter.com/ghoul_TV. He's on a team of 4, and it's a good time.
I will say, Paul, you should. I was thinking about this. You should someday have Shiver on the Astropub and just have him destroy everyone with puns. I feel like that would be excellent. I will also.
You've been on once.
You've been on.
Yeah,
okay.
I've been on once at least.
Okay, good. Just making sure. I do also want to say that there is no Not So Sober Saturday this week. So
nope.
The brand new PodSat Saturday logo did not debut this week, but it will debut next week.
Is there a logo? What?
We have a logo now.
We have a logo.
Thank you to me.
And those who are new, for those who don't know, we have the Relay Station, the Captain's Table, and Not So Sober Saturday are a part of a group of podcasts for Star Citizen that we call ourselves the PodSat, Star Citizen PodSat, where we because we tend to line up almost perfectly with a little bit of like an hour to a couple hour breaks in between. It gives you time to wake up, watch the Relay Station, move on to the Captain's Table for like lunch or dinner, and then for evening before you go to sleep, you can get absolutely blasted with Gray-Headed Gamer and his
last
guests.
week.
So.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Yeah, mistakes are made.
Oh, there were mistakes. We actually last week with GHU was actually fantastic. We honestly spent more time talking about humor and Monty Python than we did talking about Star Citizen. It was excellent. But there is a new logo for it, courtesy of Ghost 404, who made us an awesome logo, which will debut here next Saturday.
I want to see it.
I'll show it to you later, Jake. I'll show it to you.
I PM'd Ghost.
Good. So with that, thank you all so much for watching. I'm never going to stop blaming you for anything, Ghost. You are the cause of and solution to all of our problems, very similar to alcohol, which is what you should all go and grab before you head out and hang out and watch Paul on the Astropub. And with that, we'll see you guys all next week in the verse. Yeah, I'm going to stop talking now because I don't know what else to say. Bye now.
That's racist.